Here we are, guys, back once again with the ASL. Man, this has been a long week waiting for Jaedong versus Light. And of course, Flash versus Snow is tomorrow. Should be a hell of an end to the round of 8, Xun.
Oh yeah, I've been looking forward to this one. I'm going to apologize in advance to you guys if I'm a little bit off today in any way, shape, or form, or I make a tiny mistake here and there. Like, I've had 2 hours sleep. I'm a little bit sleep deprived, but I'm so hyped for this series that I actually don't feel that tired right now. And I'm sure this is going to be an absolute banger of a best of 5 between Jaedong and Light.
Yeah, this should be amazing. I am almost more hyped for this one than I am for Snow versus Flash, just because I'm such a big fan of Jaedong and I've been predicting him making it through and being the favorite this season, getting into that finals. Now, we do have a situation where Soma will probably end up meeting him. I think there is a possibility, but, we'll give Leda a little chance there, but
Right.
we'll see how that goes. Just probably going to be favoring Soma there. So, it would be a little bit unfortunate to get that ZVZ at the end, but I just really, really want to see Flash versus Jaedong in the semifinals. So I'm definitely going to be cheering for Jaedong here today.
Oh, I couldn't agree more with you saying I so want that best of 7 semifinals between Jaedong and Flash. And this is the time for Jaedong to finally put the doubters' minds at ease. A couple of seasons ago in the ASL season 19, Light beat Jaedong 4-1 in the similar situation in the round of 8. How special would it be if Jaedong flips the script and does something similar here against Light today? Historically speaking, they've been very even, very down the middle in terms of the overall win rates. It's very close to 50% on either side. So yeah, this is a tough one. Light is historically a very good opponent for Jaedong. Stylistically, he cuts SCVs a bit earlier than most Terrans. He's a little bit more aggressive in that mid game with some of his timings and has been able to push Jaedong to the limits in the past. And despite all 5 of these maps being Terran favored, I really do feel like Jaedong's form is just so special and peak right now that I think he's going to overcome Light here today.
Yeah, Light has an interesting people think of him as like a macro Terran, right? He's like that big daddy Terran player who just macros into an impossibly strong position. That's more of his Terran versus Protoss style of play.
Right.
In TVZ, he can be very aggressive, and he's actually quite strong with Wraiths as well, which is a huge part of the meta this season.
Yeah, honestly, quite literally one of the best Wraith users besides someone like Leda. Like, Leda's the absolute specialist of Wraiths, but yeah, Light is seriously good with them as well. Won't be too surprised if we see that in at least one of the games here tonight. All of the maps are super good for Terran, so I'm sure Light's going to have a little bit of wiggle room to get a bit spicy and creative with some of the approaches that he starts out with against Jaedong. I'm sure we'll see a few really tight macro games as well, but I kind of do imagine Light's going to get a little bit fancy at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to do so on these maps, like Jane Doe. It's almost silly to not go for some sort of 1-1-1 build, right? You're
Right.
just set up in such a nice way where you can hide exactly what you're doing with your build, and then if you go for that 1-1-1, it's usually so flimsy and hard to pull off. But with that back base, you can just quickly grab the CC in a really safe way, and as long as you have turrets and you're dealing with the mutas on time and everything, it's very easy to hold on. They can't really pressure you with lings, try to get in there and kill turrets or anything like that. You just a great map for 1-1-1 plays. So we might see something there if we get Jane Doe here today.
Yeah, no, I definitely think we're going to be seeing something like that on Jane Doe. At the bare minimum, maybe even one of these other maps as well. Like, it could be like a proxy barracks into a proxy factory or something like that as well. I'm sure we'll see some craziness out of Light. And you can do that on match point as well. Like, we've seen that happen to Jaedong recently, not in ASL,
Yeah,
but in
true.
the Pro League, right? Where he got a the barracks was at the ramp on match point, but the factory was like behind the mineral only, and yeah, managed to get the better of Jaedong that time.
Well, I mean, we could speculate about what Light wants to do all day. There's so many different ways to play this matchup. Uh, we saw from Flash earlier in the tournament going for very heavy mech play, opening CC first. I wonder if Light will dare to try something like that against Jaedong after what happened to Flash in that round of 16 match.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a CC first into mech from Light, but I do think we'll see a CC first at some point, but more likely to be into like a standard bio play, maybe Valkyrie play of like a fantasy push style. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing the CC first into mech very much in the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, CC first into mech, it's pretty darn strong, but Jaedong showed an excellent propensity for handling that style of play. Another very common way to open as Terran is to go for these Valkyrie style openers that can be followed up by a fantasy-esque push with the tanks. That can be really difficult to stop, especially on a map like Match Point where you can start to hit the natural so quickly from the low ground.
Yeah.
Jaedong, he's got to have a bunch of fancy builds here to hold off everything. Like it's got to be incredibly difficult for him to prepare for all the different tricks that Light could pull off today.
And Light, we don't call him Daddy Terran for no reason. This guy's got so much experience, and he can pretty much play every style that Terran have in their lexicon. I would really love to see some mech transitions as well. Like I would be so delighted if we see like a standard kind of 1-1-1 Valkyrie play into a mech transition. I would be so happy. Like that's one of my favorite styles to watch and cast. I hope we see that from like at least in one of these games. Very strong way of playing Terran, but exceedingly hard to execute well.
It really is. We saw Scan pull off a play like that.
KCM.
Shout out to Scan in KCM. Who was he playing up against again? Sulky, that's right. Pull off an amazing mech transition from a Valkyrie opener. Seemed to have a really good read on Valkyrie play, and that transition is tough to pull off, but he did it in a pretty beautiful way. I wonder if he's been training with somebody like Light, practicing those builds.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I was really impressed with Scan that game. I thought Sulky was going to have a field day with him, and no, Scan played amazingly well. Honestly, one of the best Terran versus Zergs we've seen in a long time, hands down. And both of these gamers right now looking pretty calm and collected on stage. For their respective races, they're kind of similar. Like they both kind of have this sort of like laser focused psychopathic stare. They don't really show emotions when they're playing a whole bunch as well. It's not like someone like Mini who kind of wears their heart on their sleeve. You will get Jaedong kind of screaming his head off during Pro League when someone like Shuttle is throwing his win streak, but yeah, when it comes to competing, Jaedong is super serious.
Yeah, that is the funny dichotomy of Jaedong, right? When he's actually up to bat and he's playing, he's laser focused. He never like throws his head to the side in the middle of the game or, loses his cool. But when he's watching his teammates play in Pro League, he really does get hyped and wears heart on his sleeve. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy in that. I'm expecting just laser focused Jaedong here, as he's been all season, hoping to see him get through into the round of 4 for the first time in ASL, I believe. Let me look that up. Actually, am I correct about that?
I'm actually not 100% sure. I want to say he got there one time before, but certainly in recent years, he's not been able to go beyond round of 8. Like that's been a trend for Jaedong where everyone gets hyped for him. He does pretty good in the round of 24 and round of 16, and then kind of falls apart in the round of 8. And I'm sure a lot of people might be suspicious that this will happen again here today, but I actually don't think so. I feel like despite this being a pretty close series between the two, like I could definitely see it going all the way to 5 games being played, but I still feel like it's going to be a Jaedong victory in the end.
Okay, I see. Season 2, he got knocked out by Flash in the round of 8. And that was the only time in ASL history. Season 1 of KSL, he got second place versus the last. So it's been a long time since he's been into top 4, but he's had quite a few appearances in the top 8.
Yeah.
In season 19 and season 15. But it's been a long struggle for him, man. Yeah, you're totally right. He's been disappointing the fans for many seasons, like coming out looking pretty good. You know, we get excited about him, and he's looking like the old Jaedong a little bit, and then things just don't quite work out for him. But for some reason, I feel like this season is different. Maybe I'm delusional, Xun, but I really do feel like this is going to be a different Jaedong here tonight.
I don't think you're delusional at all, saying. I mean, I think you could just take a look at his Pro League record alone and be like, oh my gosh, this guy's in peak form. Close to a 90% win rate against the best players on the planet when they're all playing their heart out for thousands of dollars on any given day. Yeah, this guy's in amazing form. Better than he has been in a seriously long time. And I'm sure he's going to give us a fantastic series. Won't even be surprised if he randomly pulls out a 4 pool in one of these games. I kind of imagine him doing such a big build order range against Light to make Light have the fear of God that he dare not do something like a CC first.
Yeah, I mean, Jaedong plays like he has no fear. When he's at the top of his game, when you're watching the Tyrant, this guy, he has no worries about losing a game, dropping a game. It's not a problem for him. He's just going to stay laser focused on getting the kill in the next game. If anything goes wrong, he has no problem, all-inning immediately afterwards. We saw him pull off a great all-in to get here versus Bisu, right? He went into that Jaedong game and got a sick win with that all-in that nobody was expecting. Least of all, Bisu himself. And that just goes to show, he's willing to put it all on the line.
Yeah, well, he's talking a little bit that we had a translated video on Jinjin's channel basically saying, like, everyone knows that Jaedong is seriously good at playing macro games on Jaedong, so he kind of wanted to, like, make Bisu think that that's what was happening, and did a one-hatch lurker build that completely caught Bisu off guard. Looks like both players getting ready in the booth now, saying won't be long until we're joined by these two guys for some great games of StarCraft. And what's crazy is that even though these records look really good for Jaedong, it's actually not reflective of his true skill. Like, most of these wins and losses are from when he wasn't in that great of condition, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. 59% win rate, and we consider Jaedong to be kind of floundering in the past seasons of ASL. He just wasn't quite there, wasn't quite on form, because he is just that good. He's such a god when it comes to like Kespa era games back in 2008 to 2010. This guy was just so dominant, only stopped by Flash, and met Flash so many times in the OSL MSL series. He's looking for a win over him in ASL this season. We'll see if that comes to pass in the round of 4. Here's Light with his 50% win rate, and he's an ASL champion. He's got a much lower win rate versus Zerg, and he's an ASL champion. That just goes to show you how hard ASL is. Yeah. That an ASL champion can have a 50% win rate.
Yeah, I've talked about it before, saying like 50% win rate is seriously impressive in ASL. Anything beyond that is just icing on the cake. Looks like we're going to be having match point as our first map. And that's going to be Jaedong's pick. And then after that, we've got Jaedong, which is Light's pick, and so on. Should be an absolute banger of a series. Let's see what these guys have got cooked up for us. I love how comfortable both of them are looking right now. They look like they're absolute killers, ready to destroy one another.
I'm really surprised to see Jaedong pick match point first. That seems like a really tough map, but hey, he's gonna show us something crazy, I imagine. Guys, we're getting into it. Let's go.
All right, guys, hope you're ready for it. We certainly are. The ASL Season 21, Round of 8, Match number 3. Jaedong versus Light on match point. let's get it started.
All right, here he is. Spawning in the bottom left. Jaedong. His opponent. In the top right. Light. Talked a lot of crap on YSC after his loss in the round of 8, man.
He really did.
I know a lot of you guys watched that video. He made fun of him absolutely brutally. But now he's got to show and proof, man. He can't be losing 3-0 to Jaedong after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, players like YSC tend to get clowned on a bit. It's so funny to think about how brutal StarCraft is in terms of the skill ceiling. Like, it's an infinite skill ceiling in infinite directions. So the players at the very pinnacle of play, kind of easy for them to look down on just about everybody else from their ivory towers.
Yeah, it is. There's levels to this game for sure. But guys, before we get started here, just want to let you know we have a Patreon page, Saiyan Xun Duocast, on Patreon, SAIYAN Duocast on Patreon. If you want to come check it out and help us support us in what we do, really appreciate it. Come check out the channel as well. We've been doing KCM. We started season 2, 2026, a couple weeks ago, and we're going to be doing another episode after Flash versus Snow this week. So come check it out, Saiyan KCM on YouTube. We appreciate the support, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate all of you guys. Much love to every person that's shown us great support, especially that guy that showed up with the sign not too long ago as well. Really happy to see that you guys are enjoying what we do. And look at this, Saiyan. We've got a gas opener from Light, and he's walling in the choke. Could be that Wraith play right from the get-go here. Let's see what he wants to do. Hatchery first from Jaedong. Standard pool and gas timings as well. Wonder how he's going to respond to this opening from Light.
Yeah, it could even be 2-port Wraith. I mean, you can go pretty hard with this build. You can go 2-port Wraith right into Cloak as well and double down on that play. Light is one of the first guys I saw who was able to proficiently move 2 separate groups of Wraiths around and try to take advantage of the fact that most Zergs are going to keep all their mutas on one stack, right? It's just kind of natural. Right. Whenever you're microing mutas, you just put them all together and you micro them around. But if you stab the natural with a few Wraiths and all the mutas chase your Wraiths, and then you dive into the main and start killing a bunch of drones, it can get out of control pretty darn quick. And that was something that really impressed me with Light's play, is that he was able to identify that and take advantage of Zergs in that way.
Yeah, Jaedong doing a great job here of putting a lot of damage onto the SCV with the drone. Going to be making it just a little bit easier for the Lings to catch up and clean it up. There's one starport, but he did pull off of gas, so this is actually going to be a 1-1-1 opening and then a CC follow-up here from Light. So not that 2-port Wraith, but Jaedong spots the timing of that CC. When you see the CC at like 3 minutes 30, you kind of know that this is what they're doing. So Jaedong already kind of has this figured out, despite not actually scouting all of the buildings inside the main base here of Light. It's going to make a sunken for safety as well for that first vulture coming out.
Yeah, he sees the floating barracks as well, knows exactly what's happening. Gonna start his spire in kind of an awkward spot, building the spire right at the natural. It's gonna allow him to put down, just one more building and create a pretty solid wall to try and block the potential for run-bys from Light, which most likely will occur. He's probably going to be getting that speed first here. I can't imagine him getting mines right away, but we'll have to see. I don't see too many more vultures being made, actually. He might do something crazy. He might do something like throwing down a second port after the CC here. Okay. There's the control tower. I guess he has up in the top right-hand corner an armory that's going to be finishing up soon.
Oh, no, that's an engineering bay.
No?
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I'm curious, is he going to do
Is he gonna get
like a
cloak?
vulture drop build? I don't know, I'm wondering if this is going to be like a weird vulture drop build where like the mutas start to fly out on the map right as the drop ship's coming into the main. So not only do you damage the Zerg's economy, but you force the mutas to turn around and come back home, which kind of buys you time to set up yourself as Terran. That might be the play here from Light. It's a bit of a risky gambit, but can pay off really in a big way for you.
I wonder. I really thought he would have had his armory done by now, but he's getting cloak with one port. One port cloak seems a little off to me. You're not really going to have that many wraiths to try and fight these mutas off. And I don't see a dropship popping out either. So what exactly is Light's plan here? And is he going to have enough to hold off the mutas that are incoming? I guess he's going to have cloak, so he might be okay. But he's missed this Overlord over here, Xun. That could actually be a huge problem. Overlord is going to get very close to the natural and maybe open up Light for some serious damage when these cloak wraiths come in. They're just not going to have much room to work with.
Yeah, that Overlord's going to act as a nice little mobile outpost to retreat the Mutalisks to, and then put
Is he going to find it? He's going to find it.
Can he kill it quickly enough before the Muta shop? It looks like yes. Nice pick up there for Light. That's going to do a lot of heavy lifting for him.
Big.
Now there's not much of a threat coming from Jaedong anytime soon. Overlord speed usually takes a long time to come online in these situations. Jaedong, meanwhile, taking the top left base as a third.
This was really dangerous from Light. If that Overlord was protected, like he can just kind of dive in on the mineral line, and if the wraiths try to fight him back, he can just kind of stand and bully the wraiths back. He is going to dive in here on the mineral line, but Cloak will come online, and there should be enough distance here to kill practically every muta. This was a suicide run from Light. He's running back towards the Overlord in the middle of the map, but he's going to lose a lot.
Yeah, Jaedong actually avoids disaster there. Did a slight fanning of the mutas to have an increasing chance of getting most of them outside of the range of those Gemini missiles, and a teeny tiny misstep from Light didn't fully capitalize on the chase micro. A few pixels of distance make all the difference in terms of getting away from those wraiths. So Jaedong doesn't take too much damage, and Light gonna stay cloaked and come in here with a couple of wraiths, start going after an Overlord that just popped out, and as we can see, still no Overlord speed for quite some time, so going to be a little bit annoying to Jaedong here. Mutas and Scourge coming back to try and intercept these. Does kill one of the race, but looks like this Overlord's barely going to go down, and we have the bio transition coming now for Light.
Yeah, bio transition coming up. Looks like he's going to get this. 1 second left. There it is. He uncloaks, and this Wraith is going to end up going down. So very fast transition into vessels here from Light. Possibly going to be able to capitalize on that by getting a push going right away and just having enough irradiate to completely smash through this pretty high muta count. It's just, I don't know, this feels a little bit awkward for Light the whole way through. He loses all the raids. He's lost some SCVs. He didn't really capitalize on the mutas. It could have been much worse though, man. I'm telling you, if that Overlord makes it to the natural and all the wraiths or all the mutas are right on top of it and defending it, super hard to hold on when you've only got 3 wraiths and a couple turrets.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. This was a bit of a gamble from Light. It does pay off for him for the time being. He's looking pretty good, but so is Jaedong. He's macroing up pretty solidly as well behind this, and not too much damage has come out from Light besides sniping a few Overlords, and that's not a big price for Jaedong to pay, since this is a big commitment from Light going full Cloaked Wraith right off the bat. He delayed his CC in the natural by a significant margin as well. I'm curious what the plan is going to be here from Light. Is this just going to be an insane pre-hive timing? He's going to have tanks as well as this bio force. Not a crazy amount of Mutalisks here for Jaedong. And Light's going to have like 3 irradiates to work with. So, very big opportunity. He does try and go in there for a snipe on the science vessel, but not quite catching it.
Yeah, eating a lot of damage as well. So much damage on these mutas from those few irradiates. He starts an emergency sunken colony, and lurkers are going to finish up soon here. Can he try one more time to dive on top of this vessel? He's going to go for it, but no, the mutas get bullied back. Lurkers are a little bit out of range here. This is a problem. He can't block the ramp right now. He's going to keep fighting. See if he can't just kill a few more Marines as they're trying to come up this ramp. There is a tank here as well, so the lurkers aren't necessarily a full-on solution to this, but they should be able to hold back a little bit. Oh, he sieges in range of the lurkers. That's not good. These lurkers are actually going to deal a lot of damage to the tank. Lings come up to try and buffer, but the spread is really nice. Ooh, some great spines come through there at the very end and clear up the Marines. It looks like Jaedong's going to hold.
Yeah, just barely. There is a bit of a reinforcement army coming up. D-Matrix on the tank as well. Light is not slowing down, and this is predominantly just Zerglings to hold on, saying, hang on a second. Light theoretically could bust through this base in the top left. Jaedong has quite a lot of hatcheries producing Zerglings, but with these D-Matrixes, I don't know if you can hold on here for Jaedong. He's trying to go after the vessels now. Only catches one of them with all of those Scourge. Here comes a lurker, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Jaedong evacuates the expansion.
Ooh, only one vessel kill is really brutal. He's going to lose this lurker. The hatchery is under so much pressure, and it looks like Jaedong is going to lose this base. I mean, he still has the second hatchery, so buying some time with the health of the first hatchery, but he has to save the second one. He can't let the second one die. GG is called. He won't be able to save it. He taps out, and Light is victorious here, game number 1.
Wow, what a game from Light, man. That was such a technical style. Almost like a crazy Terran style, rushing into vessels straight after the cloak graves. I really like that build from Light. It's very technical, and he's hitting just before lurkers can get into position to easily defend the high ground at that third base. And that's what we expect from Light. We expect these hyper-aggressive mid-game timings. And he did not disappoint to start off this series.
Yeah, that was a nice timing. Definitely the vessels hitting hard there to the predominantly Mutalisk army, and just didn't quite have the lurkers in position at the right time there. It looked like he was going to hold when those big spines ended up hitting and finishing off the few remaining Marines. But guys, we're going to go to a short commercial break. After this, we're going to be going to Jaedong for set number 2. Be right back. All right, guys, we are back. Ready for game number 2 now. Um, just as we're getting started here, I was wondering with Xun in the break, uh, what's going on with these map selections, and just kind of musing over the match point Jaedong Neo Sylphid selection to start things off. Um, Shun's of the opinion that all the maps are bad for Zerg, but I feel like I really do feel like Jaedong kind of front loaded the worst maps to play first, and left Octagon and Polestar to be a little bit later on. And I wonder if he'll end up paying the price for that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, still Polestar and Octagon, still, a little bit Terran favored. But Jaedong in particular is really rough for Zerg. So
Yeah,
I can kind of see what you're saying with that, at least.
I feel Sylphid though too, man. Sylphid is tough. Sylphid, you really have a hard time holding a third base against the tank push. It is
Right.
uniquely difficult
And it's
because
tough to
there's
get the
so
full
many different
guess,
angles
yeah.
you can hit, and there's almost no space to put down the Nidus. Plus, yeah, the fourth gas is tough to hold, but we'll see if he can at least survive through, get one win here in the first 3 games, so he can get into those later maps.
Well, with Sylphid, there's, at least some good things for Zerg, with how the mineral patches are up against the cliff face. It's a little bit easier to meter harass. If Light gets the 12 o'clock spawn, maybe Jaedong can exploit the fact that there's wider angles of the coverage needed from the turrets and what have you. Usually you'll see a Valkyrie build from Terran to kind of mitigate those factors. But we'll see. I mean, we can't sugarcoat it, though. It is a very Terran-favored map pool, which is going to help out Light a lot here.
As we're getting through the sponsorships, guys, let us know what your predictions are down in the chat after that first win. I'm feeling a little shaken, guys. I gotta say. Jaedong, he's been again making me so excited, dude. And we've been rug pulled a few times here as Jaedong fans, haven't we?
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't happen again. Like, I'll be a little bit sad if we see Jaedong get like 3-0'd or 3-1 or something. Like, please no. Like, I at least want to see this series go the distance, even if Jaedong does end up losing.
Yeah, I really hope that's not the case, man. That would be nightmare fuel for me. Really want to see at least a long series here. We've had so many 3-0s so far. It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah, by the way, apology guys about the volume levels. I had Saiyan turned up. I forgot about changing his volume levels when we were playing some games together. I put him back down to the usual levels, so should be more equalized now. Apologies again for that. For the first time ever, Saiyan, I think you were shouting over me just because I had you cranked up while we were playing together.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's usually not the case, right?
Right.
But yeah, hopefully it's all locked in now, guys. And it looks like the overall stream quality is good too. We don't want to be having any more situations like we had in some of those TVTs earlier. What was it, Group D or something like that? What group
Yeah,
was that with all TVT?
Group
Group
D of all
Group
the
D
Terrans. Yeah, we had that insane audio
16. Oh my
glitches. Oh
gosh.
my days, that was
Yeah,
bad.
I'm sure a lot of you guys missed out on it, but that was pretty rough. That was a soup related problem that we really couldn't do anything about, but we tried to bear with it as much as possible. Audio is usually the thing that goes wrong though. It's like
Right.
constantly a problem. Anyways, here we go.
Yeah, looks like we're getting started, guys. Hope you're locked in and ready for this. Game number 2 in the ASL Season 21 Round of 8 Match 3 between Jaedong and Light on Jaedong. Hope you guys are as ready for it as we are, because we're getting started right now.
Here he is, Jaedong, spawning center right. Talking to himself a little bit. Light over here, center left. Looking about the same as ever.
Yeah.
Straight faced as per usual. Jaedong, what is the plan on Jaedong, man? This is a tough map, and you can expect Light to do some sort of 1-1-1 again, and potentially with even greater effect because of that back natural and the safety therein.
Yeah, by the way, when you mentioned about Light being straight face, it reminded me like back in the day of like Idra's emotional chart, where it's just the same face for every emotion. It's kind of what Light is like.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, he doesn't show that much emotion even on stream. Definitely doesn't get nearly as hyper as Jaedong. Oh man. Getting a shot of the audience. Was that FBH? Kind of looked like him a little bit.
Yeah, might have been him.
These guys have changed a lot over the years. Sometimes it's hard to, identify the pros, especially some of the pros that haven't been around for a while. Like one of the guys that was really hard to recognize, I think, was it Jelizerg? I think Jelizerg changed a lot, but we do get to see some of those guys coming back in the scene. If you guys haven't seen it, Comedy Pro League has been kind of hilarious. There's been some Comedy Pro League that was kind of crazy, bringing it back all the way to players like Nada and Jelizerg, and giving us a snapshot of what those guys are like these days. But I'm just glad that we have so many awesome old pros in the scene, including Jaedong.
Yeah, man, it's a great scene. Great time to be alive if you're a StarCraft fan. We got a gas opening from Light yet again. No surprise on Jaedong. We expected him to go a little bit tech-centric here. Jaedong taking a 12 hatch expand in his little back pocket. Let's see what Light wants to do as a follow-up. He's actually pulled off of gas, so it's not going to be a 2-port Wraith build this time around. Just a little bit of a factory opening to kick things off.
Yeah, building the barracks over on the left there. Maybe he was trying to throw off Jaedong a little bit. Maybe make him think that there might be something coming. Wait a second. Slips by into the main base. This is a huge scout from Light. I'm not sure how he got the
Marine got glitched out.
The Marine to glitch there. Was that a mistake from Jaedong, potentially?
Maybe, yeah. I'm not so sure what exactly happened there. It happened off screen. But that's a big scout for Light for sure. Because like this could be anything. This could be like one hatch lurker, right? Like he just doesn't know. So yeah, getting in here is a big deal. Yeah. He's throwing down the Hydra Den.
Oh, he sees the lurker den. He sees it. Oh my god. Why did he place it so far to the left?
Yeah, I've seen this happen to so many people where like they feel like they're safe from the residual vision and they just build the building right outside when they could have just tucked it in more.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not sure how this is gonna go now. Maybe he only builds, a couple Hydras to make sure he's safe from the vultures coming in.
Maybe.
And buys himself enough time to make mutas. Like this doesn't have to be anything crazy. And yeah, it kind of looks like it's just gonna be a couple Hydras coming up here soon. Tries to just block on the ramp as long as possible. Force a couple missed shots. There it is. 2 Hydras come down. That'll deny the vultures and should be able to stop Light from dealing any damage to him. 2-port Wraith to follow it up. Okay, there we go. Light going 2-port.
Yeah, he's doing the macro variant of the 2-port Wraith. So not as crazy of aggression as you could do if you went straight into 2-port Wraiths off of this one base. He's going to have a very good transition into a standard game behind this. He's going to make a bunker at the ramp. You kind of have to respect the possibility of Jaedong making like 6, 7, or maybe even like 8 Hydras to come and bust the ramp down. So you do need a bunker there as well during all of this. And yeah, let's see just how good Light's going to be with these Wraiths. He did a pretty fantastic job of just using 3 cloaked Wraiths in that last game. He's going to have a lot more to utilize this time around.
I thought this was going to be the build last game. I thought he was going to go for the second port after the CC, but kind of faked me out. This time he's gone for it. He is going to put on that pressure with Wraiths. And the Hydra's kind of out of position. They're not in the base to try and defend here, but of course that Spire is now done. And some Scourge and Mutas will be popping out here soon. Jaedong has a much safer natural in this game. Placing that right in the natural. One location to defend here means that he doesn't have to spread himself as thin. We'll see if Light does a similar follow-up play, just going straight into the bio, or does he want to get into some Valkyries after? You know, having these 2 port Wraiths, it's a little bit harder to get directly into Science Vessels. You're not going to have that much gas right about this timing.
This is interesting from Light. He built a secondary bunker towards the main base, and he unloaded the bunker at the ramp and loaded up this bunker here next to the CC, just to give him a little bit of defensive posturing with the Wraith, since he had a very late engineering base, so the turrets are nowhere near finished. I kind of like this adjustment from Light, just to make sure he's super safe and Jaedong can't just pounce on him before Cloak finished up. Nice adjustments, I would say. Jaedong's got a 3rd base behind this. And yeah, I think this is going to be a really solid game from both players.
Is that an Overlord right in front of the base of Light? It kind of looks like it the way it's moving. Wraith's going to go around the outside. Uh-oh. Wraiths are going around the bottom of the map. And you know what? There's a Ling down here, I think, that's going to spot this.
No.
Oh, does it see it?
No,
does
it doesn't.
See it? No, doesn't look like it does. Okay, Mutas are in position to potentially help shut this down, but no Overlord over at this location means he can't dive onto these directly. Gonna have to wait for this slow Overlord to make its way down, and just holding off right now while he's waiting for Overlord speed to finish up. 3 Overlords here at the front. Gotta defend those right now. Looking for an opportunity to deal a little bit of damage to these Wraiths. Does get 1 volley, but loses a Muta for it. Ooh. Can he get a couple volleys here? There's a Overlord coming down. That was the Overlord at the front I was talking about earlier. It manages to make its way into vision range, and he does get a pretty significant trade against these Wraiths.
Yeah, that trade was actually pretty damn good for Jaedong in the end. He did take a little bit of drone damage. It's actually quite funny watching how 5 Wraiths interact with drones, because you kind of have to make all 5 of the burst lasers hit simultaneously, or they repair up 1 HP and live until a second volley can come down. But, you know, Jaedong's done a great job of reducing the number of Wraiths. And honestly, he didn't lose that much. He's actually way ahead in supply, which is reflective of just how well he's navigated this early game against Light. And as the mid game starts to develop, you have to wonder, is Jaedong going to run away with this game? I mean, this is a pretty good build from Light, but he hasn't done significant damage. And because he lost so many Wraiths, his tempo has gone out the window for the time being.
Yeah, he's not going to have the very fast irradiate build up like we saw in the last game. So there's plenty of time here for Jaedong to transition if he wants to. A dive in it's a very high risk, high reward maneuver. He sees only 3 turrets here at the main. The 1 bunker, though, might change the maths a little bit. Not too many Wraiths left over. Here comes the Cloak. You got to be very careful about when you Cloak right now, because the Wraith energy is a super important resource in a battle like this. Good micro from Jaedong, getting a volley on the Wraiths and killing an SCV there, not taking too much damage while rallying forward. This is a dangerous spot. Hydra's popping out right now. Are we going to see a Hydra transition, or is this going to be for Lurkers?
I think this is just for Lurkers. Really good scan, though, from Light, identifying, okay, you're going to make a ton of Hydra. Look how much gas Jaedong has banked up right now. I'm pretty sure this is going to be Lurkers. Like, he's got so much gas, it kind of makes sense. Like, he can make, like, 8 Lurkers all at the same time with, like, not even breaking a sweat. Needs to be careful against the Bio-Wraith combination. Really annoying to deal with from the Terran. You kind of have to be staring at your Mutalisk 24/7. Kind of role reversal from when you're playing SK Terran usually, and it's the Terran that needs to be constantly on guard every step of the way. And, Yeah, let's see how this game develops. This is a pretty damn good start here from Jaedong, but Light is going to get more and more bio in just a few moments to start coming across the map in a very significant fashion. He's starting to get a critical mass of Wraiths as well to reduce the count of Mutalisk. A lot of Overlords going down right now. Jaedong kind of overstaying his welcome. He's going to lose even more Overlords on the exit here, but he is also buying time for these Lurkers to finish up hatching.
Yeah, that's a lot of Overlord death. Finally does get supply blocked. He had quite a few Overlords to kind of negate that for as long as possible, but now he has to worry about the Wraiths coming forward and actually killing off some of these Lurkers. The Lurkers will defend him from the Marines, but the Wraiths need to be tended to as well. And they can start to rotate around, maybe look inside the main base. One way that some Terran players will follow this up is with a drop. They push you right to your front door with the Wraiths and bio, and then a couple of drop ships pop out, and suddenly the bio's inside your main, and the mutas or the Lurkers have to, you know, reposition in order to defend that. We don't see the drop ships coming out right now. Instead, it's a tank push from Light, who's gonna set up an outpost here at the front and try to get these tanks over there to really start pushing in the Lurkers now.
Ooh, we see a second Evo. This could be a Hydra Lurker style here from Jaedong going forward. He didn't make that many Lurkers to start things off because he needed a lot of Hydras to buffer against the Wraiths as well. He remade a few of those Mutalisk forces. We got +1 weapons now for the bio of Light. More and more Hydras coming out from Jaedong, but they're not fully upgraded just yet. I don't think they have range. I think they only have speed for the time being. A little bit of a scary moment for Jaedong, honestly. We got tanks here, vessels, the Wraiths, and quite a big counter bio.
It's a shame he wasn't able to catch any tanks coming across the map, but he does pick one off there at the front, slowing this down significantly. A lot of Lurkers in this stack now, and a lot of Hydras here as well. Defiler Mound is going to be finishing up here soon. Another tank arrives with the siege mode. Start to push things back a little bit. It looks like Jaedong going to be forced back further and further into his own base. Bunch of Wraiths come flying into the third base. It's going to cause a major distraction for Jaedong right as the Lurkers and Marines are pushing in. He spreads the Overlords. Can he actually catch this? Big moment here as he finds and catches a lot of these Wraiths. So many Wraiths go down all in one fell swoop. Actually, he loses everything. Oh my gosh. He's just going to shove forward here. Big stim and run in from Light as Jaedong was clearing that up. But hey, look at this. A great irradiate on this back line, but the tank ends up going down. One more Lurker in the stack. A few Hydras here at the front. Is he going to be able to hold on? It's so close right here. As soon as the last Lurker dies, the Hydras start to trade really poorly, but another big round makes it to the front. That should be enough for a critical mass to start pushing things away.
He's going to have to start manually targeting down individual Marines to stop the healing value from those medics being too much to handle, and he does rip through them just barely. Jaedong hanging on by a thread there. Light was so close to getting an execution order on Jaedong. Very close to the wire. He just barely hangs on. Really impressive stuff from him. He's got that Defiler tech online. You know, it won't be just a few seconds now until Consume is done, Defilers are out, and we're going to have a Hydra Lurker Defiler style, which is very cost efficient.
It is truly cost efficient and very well played by Jaedong. Jaedong is an expert with this style. Other Terran players who have practiced against Soma and played against Jaedong have said that this guy is as strong as Soma with this style. Feels like they're playing against Soma when they play Jaedong with this build. And Jaedong's just going to go ahead and snag that bottom center immediately. He has consumed. Plague is going to be on the way here. We'll be finishing up soon. Light has a very easy and accessible third base, but he's going to have to spread out pretty far on the map in order to take a fourth. He's been pushed back for now, but he's still a massive threat on the map.
Yeah, something to point out here is that Light had a very delayed engineering bay, and Jaedong went double Evo. So actually, Jaedong's kind of matching the upgrades of Light, both having 1-1 apiece. And then now +2 Carapace has just finished up for Jaedong right around the time that Light will have +2 weapons as well. This is a very potent setup from Jaedong, but Light isn't going to slow down. He's loaded up a dropship. There are overlords in position to identify this drop coming in. Scourge now trying to get on top of that. I think the dropship will unload a fair bit though before the dropship has fully finished unloading, so he doesn't really stop too much of the unload here. And 2 firebats could absolutely roast these drones with the flamethrowers. Does do a pretty good job of evacuating those. There's a lot of overlords for Jaedong heading towards the expansion of Light in the bottom left corner. I wonder if they're loaded up with a bunch of stuff. They must be, because we don't see anything on the front line. Just trying to hold on with a few units under a Dark Swarm. Well, Jaedong's going in for a massive drop. Nidus Canal gets taken out by Light. Jaedong needs to be careful, man. He's going for this big drop into the main base that we're seeing in picture-in-picture, but Light's breaking through into his natural.
Oh my god, this is insane. Suddenly everything just blows up. This game has taken a massive turn here as the drop goes into the main base. He's going after the upgrades, man. He's going to get both of the E-bays here. It looks like back at home, nothing can be upgraded now. He's stuck at 1-1, and Jaedong's upgrades are still pumping. I think he's managed to keep Light out of the main, and so he's going to at least maintain 2 bases worth of production. He might even save this one hatchery. Oh my gosh, Light's not paying attention here. He's too bothered back at home. He can't keep everything going, can't keep this plate spinning, and so Jaedong can resecure this gas at the natural.
This is
at the third, excuse me.
Yeah, denying the upgrades. +2 did not finish, Saiyan. Jaedong has an upgrade advantage, a very rare situation in ZVT. Did lose the natural hatchery that would be mining this gas efficiently, but he does still have a hatchery down here. It's not the worst case scenario. He's sniping the science vessel as well. He's got to not only rebuild the engineering bay, but rebuild the science facility to start getting that +2 weapons back. He's killed quite a lot of SCVs here in the back pocket expansion of Light. This is an insane game.
Oh my god, that was such a crazy trade. It shouldn't have had me holding my breath there as the drop came in from Jaedong, and everything looked to be falling apart a little bit. The Marines were pushing in and killing off that natural, but Jaedong somehow comes out ahead. Those upgrades helping out and allowing him to trade just that little bit extra well. Considering he didn't really have Defiler for a lot of those fights, he's able to trade pretty darn well with the Marines and Firebats and Medics. Here's a fourth base, excuse me, for Light out in the front, but Jaedong's in a good position to keep on pressuring. Ooh, a lurker there. Didn't see how many kills that was on that, but Light manages to thread the needle here, going around the outside. Lurker drop right on top of the ramp. That was such a random location to have a couple lurkers and an overlord, but he does manage to drop it out. Does not manage to save the base, though. The drones will end up going down along with this hatchery, but the command center is under threat. Looks like with a bit of targeting, he will get that command center. Gonna go down. Focus. Oh my gosh, he lets it burn. No repair there from Light, even though the SCVs were right there to do so.
This game is so trade-centric, like giving up infrastructure on both sides and then also trading 4th bases as well. Does kind of favor the Terran, though, in this situation in terms of trading off the 4th base, but still an upgrade advantage here for Jaedong. Maybe he can still translate this into a victory, and since he is relying on that Hydra Defiler style, doesn't actually need a 4th gas. Technically, you can still make this work with what he's got. As long as he can keep reducing this vessel count, that's going to be huge. He has another Dark Swarm Cloud he can throw down here with this Defiler, but he hasn't elected to do so. Just both players stretching each other to the absolute limit, saying this game is pretty wild.
These Hydras are actually trading remarkably well, man. You can see Light trying to get some E-bays down somewhere. He's thrown one down at the natural. Oh, trying to get up on top of this, but a quick turn there. And these lurkers, they don't end up dying, even with all that concentrated fire. This the upgrades just make such a big difference when you manage to get ahead of the Terran player. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in a traditional game, he would have +3 weapons right now, and he has +1. It's insane how far ahead Jaedong is on the upgrade curve. That will resolve eventually. Light's got that +2 on the way. It won't be that much longer until it finally finishes up, and he can go back to trading somewhat nominally against the Zerg. Jaedong at the moment enjoying a period where he's able to do so much with so little. Going to be securing his 4th base down in the bottom right this time, rather than the 6 o'clock. Going to be a lot easier to defend that expansion. I wonder if Jaedong can keep Light locked on these 3 bases and try and apply as much pressure as possible while he grows himself. Looks like Light might be wanting to secure this base soon. I kind of feel like Light should win this game, but because of the upgrade situation, it's actually kind of hard to say. Ooh.
Oh, that was an amazing flag. We actually had the observer there just kind of locked on the screen. I'm not sure what was happening, but he was having a hard time tracking the units. Anyway, it looks like everything's been resolved here. Jaedong, not yet +3, but I think he's going to have +3 potentially before Light can get his +2 online, which is just crazy. Maybe just a little bit after that. We'll see how it ends up turning out here. Still no +2 though, Xun. And the army is starting to look kind of big. Jaedong gonna intercept this dropship that's going around the outside of the map. He doesn't have enough Hydras to kill this, but he will be able to respond quickly to it.
Yeah, he has some units that were just produced that he's dragging up to the top right to try and deflect this. Shouldn't be too hard of a defense. Link's kind of body blocking the Hydras a little bit, so pretty good unload here from Light. Could do some damage, at least going to be forcing an evacuation of those drones to disrupt the mining and taking the attention away from Jaedong while Light shoves across the center of the map. Quite a lot of Firebats in this army, and a D-Matrix goes down onto one of them. Suddenly, Dark Swarm not as potent when you've got Firebats underneath, especially with one of them on D-Matrix. So one Lurker, not enough to hold the line. The Firebats could theoretically roast that, but luckily enough DPS to stop those Firebats from capitalizing. Jaedong barely hanging on in this game. Light rotating around though. Gonna play whack-a-mole with any of these expansions that come up, keeping Jaedong locked on this 4-base configuration.
It's looking a little dangerous right now for Jaedong. He had so many units go all the way back into his base though. They're finally cycling out now. The vessel count is a little bit too high, and this tank count is starting to match it. A lot of tanks on the ground, going to be trading much better with the Hydralisk now. Hydra's gotta shove forward here and actually try to get some kills on these vessels, man. They're just doing so much work, getting so much value throughout these trades. Defiler not gonna go down without getting a Dark Swarm. Oh no, Jaedong's starting to fall apart a bit here, Xun, as Light pushes closer and closer to the natural.
And Light just finished 2-2 upgrades as well. He's going to have such an explosion in power.
No.
Oh, the drones in the bottom right. It looks like he's keeping most of them alive for the time being. But this is going to get so much more complicated for Jaedong to hang on in this game. Oh, what are they doing? They're just dancing with death right now. Oh, that's some Korean barbecue. Oh my gosh, so many drones going down. This is not looking hot for Jaedong. Light is applying so much pressure. Jaedong barely alive with 60 supply, and I kind of feel like Jaedong just never made any more upgrades because he was so stretched thin with his economy trying to keep up with Light in this game, and now he's paying the price. Light has caught up finally. 2-2 does catch a vessel with those Scourge, but it's not going to be good enough. He's going to lose his 4th base. He has to tap out. And Jaedong is down 2 games to Light. Light is on fire, man.
Oh my goodness. Light takes down Jaedong on Jane Doe. An excellent transition from Wraiths. It looked a little dangerous, honestly, when he was pushing into the natural, lost all his Wraiths, and then lost that fight, but Jaedong was just so stretched. I had to go for a bit of a crazy drop. I mean, the game got absolutely wild. And Light just kept his cool, man. He just kept on cranking out units. He followed up with the tanks. He didn't panic. And he played with confidence despite being down in upgrades. We're going to go to a short commercial break, guys. When we get back, Jaedong versus Light, game number 3. It's coming right up. All right, guys, it's time. Game number 3 between Light and Jaedong is about to begin. It's been a bit of a crazy ride. We've seen some wild builds from Light, and we've seen some wild decisions from Jaedong. Top among them was that drop into the main during all the pressure he was under. But so far, Jaedong has been falling by the wayside. I mean, he just hasn't been able to keep up with Light so far. Can he start to turn things around?
Yeah, I really hope he does, man. I was just saying to Saiyan off air, this could be the start of one of the best comebacks you've ever seen. Jaedong could get a clean sweep 3 games in a row and still win this thing. Don't know if that's a hopium or copium or maybe a little bit of a mix of both. But I really don't want Jaedong to go down 3-0. Even if he does lose this series, I wanted to see him start fighting back. He is in great form right now, but he's had a rough ride against Light. And that's kind of been the deal between these two historically. StarCraft isn't just a game of skill, it's a game of style. And sometimes you can be, you know, a slightly more solid player than your opponent, but stylistically they kind of counter you. And that's kind of what we're seeing here with Light and Jaedong. Light is a different style of Terran entirely. And yeah, it's so far getting the better end of the Tyrant. I really do hope he's going to turn it around. It's going to be Sylphid coming up next. Pretty good map for Mutalisk Harass with like the minerals being pressed up against the cliff face in the natural. But it is such a hard map to secure a 3rd and 4th gases.
I just saw in a cheerful there, Xun, it said, shout out Tastosis and StarCastTV.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, fan in the chat, or fan in the studio there. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you're watching this later.
And some people watch both, and that's
we
totally
love
cool.
to see.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Everybody brings something different to the table, guys. Some people want to, you know, compare and contrast the different casts and everything. Whether you're watching Tastosis or you're watching, you know, Nemcraft, or you're watching us, or even Gypsy, who I hear is casting this season. I mean, everybody's got something a little different to bring.
Right.
Their different perspective, and you know, different strokes for different folks, right? Everybody likes a little bit of a different style, and so we appreciate those of you who are watching, you know, multiple casts and still showing us support.
Honestly, like, those are the best fans, where, you know, they don't get tribalistic about it. They just have a love for the game and want to, you know, observe different perspectives on the same games.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like Kartosis. I think he's a fantastic caster. And yeah, like there is no rivalry between us and them. Like, it's not like it has to be a competition, right? Like, I like that we have such a diverse range of content and coverage for you guys to enjoy. And it's totally okay if, like, say you hate me or you hate Saiyan or whatever, and you don't want to watch us. That's totally fine. Like, you go and enjoy what you like, and yeah, no hard feelings.
Absolutely. We're doing the absolute best that we can and enjoying every minute of it, Xun. I'm so ready for this comeback, man. I don't know what you're smoking, dude, whether it's hopium or copium, but I want some, dude. I want to believe.
Yeah.
Get it into my lungs, because I need to believe that Jaedong can bring this one back.
This is like the final act of the first Matrix, where like Agent Smith just like fills Neo full of holes, and like he's lying on the floor, and he just needs your love, guys. He can't die because we love him, okay?
Give him a little kiss. Give him just a little kiss. He'll come back to life. That's how they did it in the Matrix. Just kiss your screen. Yeah, give him some love through the Matrix.
He needs it right now, guys. He's gonna have to dig deep to turn this one around. He's got to win 3 games in a row against Light, who's currently playing out of his mind.
All right, guys. Sylphid. Oh my gosh, let's go.
I'm so hyped for this, saying. All right, the ASL Season 21 Match 3, Game 3. Jaedong versus Light on Neo Sylphid. Let's get this show on the road. And with a bit of luck, it won't be a 3-0.
Jaedong spawning down here in the left. Light, bottom right. It's a tough map. Is it time to pull out some cheese, Jaedong? Is it time to do something crazy and try to get the momentum back in your favor? He is one of those guys who has historically been able to bring back longer series that haven't been going his way. You know, reverse sweeps are not out of the question when it comes to Jaedong. Some players really struggle to bring things back when they're falling behind, but Jaedong, like I said, historically has been one of those guys capable of doing so. Can he make it happen today?
I sure hope so, Saiyan. Really want that Jaedong versus Flash semifinals match, but Light's just playing on a different level today. It's going to be so tough for the Tyrant to turn this one around. And, you know, Light didn't get 12 o'clock. We've said earlier, like 12 o'clock is the worst position for Terran with that gas being out to the side. You got more zones to cover with turrets, and you didn't get that. Jaedong does have direct access to the natural expansion of Light with this configuration, so it's not all terrible. The natural is pretty weak to meter harass. You can see how close these mineral patches are pressed up against that cliff face. You kind of have to mess with your own mining optimization to cover it with turrets, so there's still a little bit of wiggle room here for Jaedong. A lot of Terrans love to go for Valkyrie-based builds on this map just because of how annoying the meter harass can be, but overall it's a very solid Terran map. Got another gas opening here from Light. He is just not changing it up. Oh, bit of a mineral optimization there from Jaedong. He was trying to make the gas in the pool at the same time and hope that he got enough mineral income as the animation finished to build the gas. Didn't quite get it though.
Yeah, just a little bit off there. The bigger story here is another potential Wraith build from Light. Oh my goodness. Imagine Light goes through to the round of 4, excuse me, on 3 gas builds in a row, 3 Wraith builds in a row. What is this season of ASL, guys? It's actually mind-blowing how the swings of the metagame in the highest level of Brood War are just ridiculous.
It does tend to happen in ASL though, right? Like a lot of guys have got theory crafting going like between the seasons, and they tend to hide some of that power level and the builds. They practice them in a little bit in secret close to the event, but really they don't really show their hand until it comes time and they're competing deep in a tournament like this, and suddenly it does tend to shift the meta entirely. Got a couple of Marines moving across the map here for Light, trying to catch Jaedong off guard and slipping. If he only makes 1 pair of links to hunt down this SCV, there's not enough in the natural to defend. He's got just 2 lings against 2 Marines. He is making a sunken for the Vulture, but the Marines are coming in to harass the drones on the line. Actually, they're going to in the main base. This is crazy from Light.
Well, I mean, drones can fight two Marines. It's not that bad. Should get the surround on this, just kill it. It does slow things down a little bit. Can you get any kills? No, not gonna happen. So, I mean, bit of a crazy play there from Light to go for that kind of a dive in, but forcing a little lost mining time. It's better than nothing. Right,
and is gonna be a slower CC this time around than what we have seen from Light, like a 4-minute 10 CC, very much delayed compared to what it could be. You know, you could be seeing like a 3:30 CC off of a factory into starport opener or what have you, depending on how optimized you're being. Here comes a Vulture run by from Light. Jaedong tries to respond with a drone block. Ling helping out in such a big way, is gonna get the kill on both of those Vultures. Massive for Jaedong in the start of game 3.
Ooh, what a great block there, keeping those Vultures out of the main base. Like, you could try to run by to the left-hand side and go into that corner there's Light. You might get like maybe 1 or 2 drones, but he wanted the big run by into the main where you get the massive payoff.
Right.
And ends up getting blocked for it. Jaedong on point with the drone pull and a couple of extra lings there to shut it down. follow-up 2-port Wraith again. Oh my gosh, it's crazy, Xun. I can't believe he's doing it.
Yeah, he's going to get an Overlord kill as well to start things off. Spire only just now popping. He shouldn't have enough time to kill another Overlord unless he goes out all the way to like the 12 o'clock and finds that one. Jaedong checks the natural, sees the CC on the way. Should have a good idea of what this is. If he's really dialed in and sees how long that CC has got left to finish, he should be able to put the puzzle pieces together about this build order choice from Light. This CC is a little bit later than some of those other games, like on Match Point and what have you, so might be able to figure out what Light is up to this time.
Can he catch this Wraith on the way home? He's on the intercept course. Looks like he sees it. I don't think Cloak is done. Oh, he doesn't get the follow on onto that. To potentially kill. Might be able to catch this Wraith though. Oh my gosh, he's just gonna go for the kill on the Overlord. He barely gets it. That's actually huge. Losing that Overlord means it's much harder to push in here. Marines barely jump in the bunker in time. Actually, losing a lot of health there. Light. One Wraith at home. A turret in the natural. He's very weak to a potential bust, but there's no Overlord here, and so he can't really stay. He's gonna be pushed back.
Yeah, does barely get an angle on those mutas to throw down a little bit of damage over time with those Gemini missiles. Not a crazy amount though. Honestly, it's quite good for Jaedong. He's killed a Wraith already. Does take a lot of tempo away from Terran. He's forced to cloak early as well. That's a big deal. You can see how flimsy this setup is from Terran right now, and he's kind of wanting to bait another cloak out from Light, because he knows that not all the Wraiths even have enough energy to go for another cloak right now. So he knows he's got like a few seconds of safety window to come in here and harass just before they get above that 25 energy threshold again.
Oh, big moment here. Is he gonna catch these Wraiths? Ah, he is in range. He's in range. Starts to chase them down. He knows that there's very little energy on these. Trying to just pull back the injured mutas to not take too much damage. Overlord speed is done, I believe. Is Jaedong going to try to press the issue here? A lot of these Wraiths are low. He could try to dive in. There's only 2 turrets, man. This is a dangerous position for Light. Is he going to get overwhelmed here by the mass production of mutas that Jaedong has started to increment out? 51 supply to 51. Again, just 2 turrets in the natural. Jaedong, is he going to go for it here? That's a lot of Scourge. I think this is indicative of an imminent attack from Jaedong.
It definitely looks like that, and you can see how serious Light is taking this. Going up to 6 turrets in the main, +1 weapons. Finished up for these Mutalisks as well. This is a pretty good timing to go in. He's got plenty of Overlords to provide vision to this, but there are so many turrets to hold the line, but no bunker in the main base this time like we had on Jaedong. Let's see if Jaedong can break through. He's going to be killing these turrets in 2 volleys apiece. Having a little bit of a hard time with the target firing on the second one. Here comes the race of Light now. Good dancing so far. Look at how many Scourge there are to zone out those Wraiths while Jaedong rips apart those turrets. Now the mineral line is exposed, but he has to pull back for a little bit of a time until he can replenish that muta count.
Man, just killing off the turrets is not good enough here. Light has shoved everything back, and he's still got a pretty decent count of Wraiths. With 3 gases, Jaedong can produce a lot. He can shove out a ton of mutas to keep this pressure going. But look at how serious Light is, building so many turrets behind this. I don't know if it's breakable. He's going to try and come in again, but this is just so much defense in the air.
It doesn't look breakable. I kind of feel like Jaedong should go after the natural instead. Only 2 turrets here, and I don't even think that bunker is fully loaded with 4 Marines. I definitely feel like maybe this is the plan of action from Jaedong, just hitting this natural expansion instead. Kills one of the 2 turrets already, and the bunker is not really covering the mineral line anyway. So yeah, definitely feel like this is going to be the idea from Jaedong, just to keep hitting this base over and over again and keep Light locked onto mainly 1 base worth of economy. Has got 9 Wraiths still, is doing the transition into bio. Science facility not that far off from finishing up. Let's see how Jaedong wants to navigate this. It looks like he is set up to transition, doesn't want to fully commit to a Mutalisk all in. But if he does plenty of damage to the economy of Light, that will set him up nicely.
Yeah, this is quite a bit of SCV damage. It's funny that he built so many turrets in the main base. Of course, if you lose the main base, the game is kind of over. Losing a bunch of SCVs here at the natural is not the biggest deal. It's not an ending maneuver. You can still kind of recover here as light. Just transfer some more SCVs from the main, kind of balance things out. Get yourself to around 35 SCVs total, and you can still play a heck of a strong 2-base Terran mid game. But gonna come back in again to try to kill off even more of these SCVs. The Wraith count is very high now, and Marines are starting to make their way to the front. Still only 2 turrets. How far along is this Lurker upgrade, though? Is Jaedong going to have the transition in time to be able to hold this back? And he's probably going to need some spores as well, because he can't stand and fight with the mutas forever.
Yeah, I mean, the Wraith control has been pretty phenomenal from Light the entire series. There's no wonder he's considered a bit of a specialist with this, besides later. Yeah, I feel like Jaedong is kind of on a knife's edge right now. Light has finally figured out that, okay, there's not that many mutas I can push out. The cloaked wraiths are super scary. They will eventually start to run out of energy as time ticks on, but for the time being, just needs to use them to help get across the map quickly with this Bioforce. And I don't see any Lurker eggs on the way, saying this could be very dangerous for the Tyrant Zerg.
Oh no, he lost all the overlords. Ooh. He can't build any lurkers, Xun. No lurkers can be made right now, and there's even a vessel in here as well. I doubt that he has a radiate yet, but it's going to be on the way soon. It has to be, and it's allowing Light to push out with so much confidence because he's not worried about a lurker landmine anytime soon. Sunken's coming up on high ground. These mutas have been pushed back. There's the radiate already. Oh my god, great pull though. Absolutely fantastic pull. He hardly takes any damage from that irradiate there, but the mutas are starting to get pushed back, bullied away. Only one sunken colony up here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe there's only one sunken colony to try and defend this. He's going to try to hold the high ground while flanking around the back. No Ling speed yet either. Dude, Ling speed even missing right now is pretty rough.
Yeah, he needs to make a Lurker egg on this ramp to shore up the defenses, but the Wraiths are being so annoying they can start going after the drone lines. A couple of Lurkers out here in the open field, maybe trying to get a sandwich on this army from 3 different angles. Is Jaedong does get target fired down onto those mutas from the bio, but he cleans up the main threat here from Light. A nice tempo swing going into Jaedong's favor, and he honestly didn't take that much damage. I feel like this is still a fantastic spot for Jaedong.
Well, look at the supply chain. I mean, his Defiler is a little ways off, but there is a lot of potential here for Jaedong. He's going to try and dive on top of these Wraiths again. He's got the Overlord here. Things were looking really dire for him earlier, but it seems like he's going to be able to stabilize with that Defiler coming online. Can go into another Hydralisk and Defiler play, try to keep Light off his back until then. Just pushing him out of the main. The Wraith count is very low now. We're going to see a full transition into vessels, but he catches one of the vessels out in the map. That's a huge catch from Jaedong, getting out ahead of him and predicting the movement pattern of Light. That was something that did not happen last game on Jaedong. He was able to catch some early vessels and lower that count to remove the endless cost efficiency of the vessels. Just keep getting irradiates over and over again.
Well, Light's still being a bit annoying with these Wraiths, taking a few pot shots at the drones, forcing them to stop mining a little bit. But overall, this is fantastic for Jaedong. And this Borrowed Ling's helping him out a lot, keep track of how many forces are out on the map and the intentions of the Terran. I like how active Light is being with these Wraiths, just non-stop aggression, kind of harassing Jaedong while he tries to stabilize and grow and get into that late game play. But you know, Jaedong's weathered the storm. He is in full macro swing now, and actually still slightly ahead on supply. Everything's looking pretty great for him. And this is one of the maps that kind of inspires a Hydra Defiler style, because it is a bit awkward for Zerg to maneuver in the mid to late game. And definitely a good choice here from Jaedong to go for this. But look at Light. He's turning
Hydra range.
He's turning the map advantage around on Jaedong. Usually it's good for mutas because of the minerals being pressed up against this cliff face. Turns out Wraiths are even better at exploiting it.
Yeah, and without that Hydralisk range, it's really difficult to shut it down. He has been producing a lot of drones, though, so his drone saturation is good. He's got a good number of hatcheries as well, enough to start pumping out a pretty massive Hydralisk Defiler army, and those Defilers are going to be popping out here shortly. Light, of course, going to be making tanks, and Bio with a few vessels on the field as well. Wants to come forward and get some really good irradiates, get some good value here with this first volley of irradiates, and he does get one Defiler. Flank from the army, though, is going to get right up and on top of this. Can he get a vessel? Another vessel kill. Great maneuvering from Jaedong to get the flank off and catch that one vessel.
Wow. Jaedong is doing it, man. This is a much better game from him compared to those first two. He looks pretty stable going into this late game. He's caught so many of these vessels. Light, though, he's still existing with these Wraiths. They're running around the map, hunting down overlords and what have you. He is doing a good job of supply blocking Jaedong over and over again while this is all going on. Trying to sandbag the growth of the Zerg as much as possible. And Jaedong hasn't yet found a comfortable moment to look for a fourth base, but also the Terran kind of just sitting on two bases this entire time. Goes after a Defiler with these Wraiths, not quite successful in picking it off. But I do love how active he's being with these air units.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting a Defiler kill on top of all the drones that he's got killed so far is kind of insane value. Now, drops are going to come in to the main. Jaedong is kind of ready with a few Hydras. He might be able to jump on one of these immediately if he sees it in time. He sees it immediately. He's going to try to react as quickly as possible. Diving on top of the Marines. There's not a lot of medics in this force. It looks like maybe no medics. Yeah, no medics at all. So actually Hydras are just fine to deal with this type of a push. Meanwhile, going up towards the top left. Jaedong going to react to that as well. Dude, Light is not really making progress right now, and Jaedong is going to shut down this push as well as the drop in the main. It's looking better and better for him.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Just one plague on a single vessel and a medic there, but it doesn't matter. Any value is value right now for Jaedong. Doesn't need the Dark Swarm, so might as well just try and chuck out a plague. Finally, we see Jaedong double expanding, taking the mineral only here on the left-hand side and the 12 o'clock as well. Really good idea from Zergs to kind of double expand in different sides of the map. So if one dies, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be hard for Light to fully commit to knocking out some of these bases unless he utilizes dropships. Wraith's still around on the map, though. Might be able to find that base coming online at the 12 o'clock. And since it is only just recently started, theoretically could kill it with the Wraiths as well.
Yeah, that might end up happening. Oh, finally just a Wraiths. There we go. Wraiths end up going down. Big move there from Jaedong, but can he save from this drop? I think he'll end up having to cancel. There's a few low HP vessels in this group. See if Jaedong can target some of those down. Drop coming into the main at the same time as this drop at the top center, and the aggression in the middle is happening. So can he react to everything at the same time? Oh my goodness, look at how many forces are here in the main. He's instantly going to shut this down. Dude, this is such a big commitment to the main base from Jaedong. No wonder he doesn't have much in the middle of the map or defending that top center.
He's the same way Light was taking Jaedong super seriously with how many turrets he made in the main. Now Jaedong is taking him super seriously, understanding that the one way Light is probably going to win this game is with non-stop drop harassment at all sides of the bases that he's got set up. You can see him shuffling lurkers there into better positions at the third base location. Another play coming out from Jaedong. He's only getting like one vessel at a time, but it's better than nothing. Does catch the Scourge with a dropship on low. Jaedong, though, putting pressure onto this false high ground third base. Does kill the lurker before it can burrow, though. So Jaedong, despite having a good idea coming into this base, hasn't been that successful, but he is coming with more and more forces.
This could be an insane plague right here. Let's see if he's able to get it. Has a Defiler with about 150 energy. Coming on 150 energy here. Can't quite flank this, though. Dark Swarm comes up. Plague is ready, pushing everything back. Light is just so close to losing this entire force and potentially the third base as well. Flanked from this army, but he's actually not moving the Hydras correctly. And the drop goes off in the natural as well. Jaedong starting to lose tempo a little bit. This drop gets taken down, though, and forces all these vessels up in the top right. Where are the vessels going right now? That's kind of crazy. Trapped way over here in the top right at the moment. Can he actually kill any of these? It looks like he'll get at least one, possibly two. Two, three, and four. Oh my god, huge mistakes from Light. Sending those vessels way off to the top right for some reason.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was about. Maybe their estate agent gave them a crazy deal that they just couldn't say no to and went on a little bit of a vacation. Absolutely no idea what they were doing up there. The only thing I can think of is that maybe he was pushing his Wraith hotkey, thinking he still had Wraiths and clicked them up there, but it was actually the vessel hotkey. No idea. But here comes more forces from Jaedong in the center. He's starting to overrun Light at the moment. He is drying up. Now that he's lost so many vessels, he can't really go toe-to-toe with Jaedong anymore. Vessels are basically the backbone of your army as Terran in this situation, and the Marines are kind of playing more of a supporting role. More vessels getting sniped. He's got 2-2 upgrades on these Hydras and Lurkers as well. 3-2 for Light. But overall, this game is looking so good for Jaedong.
Yeah, Jaedong is putting together a giant army in the center now, looking for a potential finishing blow on Light as he gets pushed further and further back towards his defensive line. Another great play here in the center of these forces, and there's really not much to speak of when it comes to Light's army. One Marine here trying to slow down the endless growth of Jaedong in the top center, but it looks like Jaedong going to be able to clear that up as well. 2 vessels only here from Light trying to press in and get some kills on these defilers, but he's just not going to let that happen. Jaedong has fully saturated that 4th base, the mineral only, and so can produce an insane number of Hydras to complement these defilers and Lings. Light is double expanding. He's grabbed the false high ground and that mineral only just in the nick of time here as the bases in the main and natural start to run out.
Yeah, it's very important that Light continues to grow, but he's not getting additional gas, which is really important. He needs a lot of gas to fight against this style from Jaedong, because ideally he wants to pump out like 3 factories worth of tanks non-stop, as well as making vessels. And this false high ground base is a low yield expansion, so it will dry up very quickly for him as well. Kind of against the clock now is like, if Jaedong just maintains this game state, he's gonna definitely win this game. There is a lot of questions being asked of Light, and I'm just not sure he has all the answers this time around.
The tank count's not looking that scary here just yet. Nice little D-Matrix there on the front line to start pushing things back. Jaedong still has to defend everywhere appropriately. Can't be missing out on a defiler at any of these locations in a critical moment. Could start to get busted. So Jaedong's going to rotate some units through the Nidus Canal. It looks like get into position to defend this. Meanwhile, drop play coming out once again from Light. He needs to throw off Jaedong with multiple pronged attack, force him to multitask in different areas and get some damage going. Otherwise, he's never going to be able to win this game.
Oh, and look at this. He's got forces in position. Jaedong is just dotting his I's, crossing his T's across the board, getting super serious about this series. Doesn't want to get knocked out 3-0 and have another disappointing round of 8 finish. And this could be the start of a very legendary comeback. A beautiful plague on the Bioforce as well as a tank. There is not much Terran in the center here. Jaedong racing ahead in supply by about 20 or so. Light needs to quickly get a critical count of tanks to be able to leverage against Jaedong. He's not quite reached that threshold yet. This is still a slightly flimsy setup, and Jaedong wants to pounce on it and see if he can punish. He certainly can. And a lot of the tanks getting absolutely eviscerated from Light here. Even if he technically could win this fight, even just losing the tanks is a big deal, but he's not even going to win the fight. He's lost the tanks, he's losing the fight. Jaedong is gaining so much ground, and he's got so many bases online. I just don't see how Light is going to navigate this to a win condition now.
Yeah, it's looking to be kind of over here for our Terran player. He's got almost no tanks left over. Has a few vessels, but Has not been able to grow, whereas Jaedong has now secured top center, as well as the natural over there. So much gas flowing in. He could try to transition into Ultralisk, but he doesn't need to. Just keeping it. If he wants to be as careful as possible, just make sure that he's got defilers everywhere. Make sure that he's got the Hydras in position. Keep getting plagues on the army again and again, and don't let up on this macro at all. Don't give any window for Light to try to come back in this game where you're, in the process of making a bunch of ultras and suddenly he's able to jump on top of one of your bases and kill it.
Yeah, Light's trying to float a CC over to this bottom left pocket expansion. Jaedong already moving army into position to deflect that attempt. He's just done such a cost-efficient job of shaving Light down closer and closer to the hill. And it looks like the Terran's running out of steam. Oh, he's not on top of this CC. He's gonna lose it. Unfortunately, Jaedong's just everywhere right now, and the noose is tightening around Light's neck. Jaedong's doing a very tentative job of just setting up a triangle hold while he gets into his Ultralisk tech. It's going to turn into a Sauron Zerg-esque style very quickly, where he just streams across the map with everything as he approaches max. Here comes 3 dropships from Light, trying to go into the main base with a lot more forces. One of the dropships close to going down. He's got units in the main as well to respond. It's even a pair of Scourge. Jaedong's defense on point today.
Yeah, I mean, Light's been trying this all game, and Jaedong's just been on top of it. Here's the final clear up of that army, and I imagine we're going to see a tap out here in a moment from Light as he drops more than 80 supply below Jaedong. The Ultras are now on the field. They don't have speed just yet. They are going to be closing in on this army here in a moment, just creating that body block, that tanking that damage, standing at the front line, and as soon as Light sees them, he taps out. GG. Not another 3-0. Jaedong starts the comeback.
Wow, really well done from Jaedong. Could be a massive tempo shift. And honestly, he's got Jane Doe out of the way. That's the most craziest map for Zerg to deal with. Still got a few other maps which are a little bit trickier to navigate on. Got Polestar and Octagon. Could make some arguments that Octagon's a little bit more tricky than Polestar for Zerg. But they're nowhere near as bad as Jane Doe in this TVZ matchup. Maybe that's the thinking behind Jaedong picking the maps in the order that he did. He knew that as long as he can just not go down 3-0, the worst is over. And the final 2 maps, not as big of an obstacle to overcome.
Well, guys, we're going to go to a short break now. When we get back, the comeback has begun. Game number 4 right around the corner. All right, guys, we are ready for set number 4, Polestar, with Jaedong versus Light. This has been a bit of a roller coaster of a series. Had some incredible games so far. I'm just super glad that it's not a 3-0, man. Holy cow, I was getting scared there for a second.
Yeah, know what you're saying, man. And honestly, could be that comeback. Just 2 more games for the Tyrant to secure, to break the curse and get into the semifinals. Been a long time coming for the Donger. Let's see how this goes. These other maps, not too bad for Zerg compared to maps like Jaedong. Still a little bit Terran favorite. But let's jump into it. I've got strong hopes for Jaedong that he can still turn this around. I hope he doesn't disappoint. I hope you guys are ready. The ASL Season 21, Round of 8, Match number 3, Game number 4. Jaedong versus Light on Polestar. Let's keep this show going.
Jaedong spawning over here in the top left. Speaking with himself again as this game starts. Light in the top right. See if he's figured out what went wrong in that last game and whether or not he wants to continue with the gas builds that he's been going for this series so far. Are we going to finally see, you know, more standard early +1 eBay build, something like that? One Rex fast expand just has not come out so far.
Could even just be like a CC first or something, right? Oh, look, there's another sign for us. Wow. Happy to see you guys.
Let's go.
Showing a lot of love and support. Means the world to us. It really does.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it, guys. Puts a smile on my face. And at 8 racks from Light in the natural this time around. So yeah, we are going to be getting a little bit of a deviation from him. No more strict gas openers. You could still do a gas follow-up from this and go for a factory as well. We'll have to see how he wants to navigate. He's building this in the natural, so it kind of makes me think this is not going to be a gas variation.
Yeah, he could go for like 1 racks off this 8 racks into a CC and then into something like you know, 111 afterwards. Get into, you know, quick Valkyrie, something like that. But
yeah, generally
speaking, yeah, you do kind of want to get the CC up after an opener like this. It's just a little bit more smooth. It is a little dangerous here, the fact that he has the Marines popping up on the outside and Jaedong's already identified what's happening. Just starts his spawning pool now, so he didn't open 11. He actually opened 12 hatchery, it looks like. 12 hat.
Yeah.
11 spawning pool means that he's gonna need to do a little defending with the initial drones to prevent serious damage from Light. There's the 2 Marines, 3rd Marine on the way. Got to pull a little bit more than this, I think, Jaedong. He's being a little stingy with the drone pull so far.
Yeah, but he saw it with the Overlord right away, so he's not making a gas, which means he's got an extra drone available. He will pull more and more drones, but you're right. The initial drone pull was a little bit stingy. He's got just 5 to kick things off. He's going to have to pull another 3 once the 3rd Marine shows up. He's trying to be very greedy with this hold. Good stutter stepping from Light does kill one of the drones. This Marine getting seriously low, though. Jaedong is going to potentially kill this Marine with only losing 1 drone, and he hasn't hardly pulled anything. This is an insane hold for Jaedong, but it does mean that Light is having a high likelihood of potentially finishing up a bunker in the natural, but he seems like he doesn't want to pull the trigger on that. He realizes that the Jaedong held just a little bit too efficiently, and Lings are popping out, so he actually evacuates and won't be continuing this aggression. I'm kind of blown away that Jaedong is holding this efficiently. Like, he was pulling 3 more drones in case he needed them, but they just went to mine in the natural because he held it so well with the initial 5.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent hold from Jaedong. Only losing 2 drones and pulling that few. It's okay now that he lost some drones and he made Lings. Like, sometimes usually you want to make a choice, right? Either you're gonna fight with drones and kill the 8 racks, all the Marines, and then only build drones behind it, or you wanna run by, you know, catch the rallying Marines and then build links to clear the bunker. But Jaedong kind of did a middle ground, and it's a really risky way to play to go down that middle ground, because if anything goes wrong, everything can fall apart in a second, and suddenly you've lost, you know, 4 or 5 drones and you're just dead in the water. But
Yeah.
Jaedong walked that tightrope, and now he's pretty okay. I'd say, like, he should be able to put out a good game from here.
Yeah, he did make quite a few lings in total. I think about 8. This means he won't have to throw down a sunken for a very long time, and it does also make Light a little bit scared. Like, he's not going to try and come out onto the map with like a naked Marine timing to put on pressure or anything like that. He's going to have to tuck in and just chill for a long time, knowing that there's a possibility that Jaedong floods lings and completely eviscerates any move out timing. And you can see Light is just constantly sending out new SCVs to scout. He really needs to know what Jaedong is up to behind this.
It's going to be that Spire. And we'll be able to slip around the outside here. Getting into the natural is nice. Get the full scout off. Figure out what's coming. He knows he knows exactly when he needs these turrets now. And everything should be pushed back about a minute, basically, whenever you have an 8 racks.
Pretty much.
And so, you know, he can build the turrets a little bit later. He's already got the eBay though, starting that +1. Looks like a MM build from Light. So we're finally gonna get a more traditional TVZ here in game number 4.
Yeah, he certainly can mix it up a little bit in this series, since he is leading 2 games to 1. Can afford to go for a different style, mix it up a little bit. If it all does go wrong on him, still got that decider match to maybe go for another gas opener or maybe a Valkyrie build instead. Let's see how this game develops. Looks like Jaedong going to cancel one of those sunkens, realizes that Light's being very tentative and passive right now. He's scared of possible links around, just gobbling up that first bio ball. He has to respect the possibility of it. Jaedong sending a drone down here all the way to the bottom left to take a 3rd expansion, and he's navigated this early game beautifully. So I've got strong hopes for Jaedong making a comeback in this series, looking at this game panning out.
Yeah, he's got the hatchery in the bottom left and a 3rd hat in the main as well, so he's going to be able to keep up on production with Light, who's looking to be doing, what is this, 4 racks? Am I seeing this correctly? 4 racks with a factory on the way there in the main base.
Is that 5?
There we go. 7 minute attack with the Muta. So it is pretty much exactly 1 minute behind. But I believe the factory got started in there. We're gonna get a shot of the main here soon.
It's 5 racks.
Is that 5 racks?
Yeah, it's 5
racks. Oh my
racks.
goodness, 5 racks is kind of crazy. We hardly ever see it these days.
Yeah, it was a counter to 3 hatchery Mutalisk play. Kind of hard to get away with it against, you know, a normal 2 hatch opener. Seems like Light wants to just try and overwhelm Jaedong with such an insane amount of bio units that Jaedong's Mutalisks just can't quite keep up with it. But he is going for a very sharp transition. That Hydra Den was just before 7 minutes. His lurker timing is going to be very crisp in this game. Jaedong will have the tools necessary to shut this down. And you can see how late the factory is here from Light. Just now starting as we approach 8 minutes. So yeah, this is a very semi-all-in style from Light. This needs to accomplish something. Even if it's just killing a lot of Mutalisks and putting on pressure, you can't just do nothing with this build.
Yeah, that's the trouble with this style. You're gonna have so many Marines to put on that pressure, but if you get nothing done with the pressure, then Jaedong is going to just outpace you in terms of his tech, and it's starting to go that direction, guys. We got the lurker, or we got the Hydras out on the map. Lurkers are gonna be made here soon. I don't see any lurkers okay, I think there's 1 lurker being built over there by the mineral patches. 3 sunkens at the front. Some lurkers coming up. If he catches this reinforcement, that could be absolutely massive, but it might trigger Light to just go in for the kill on the natural here.
Yeah, does a preemptive stim, heals up before charging in. The Mutalisk had plenty of time to get back here. Lurker starts to pop out. Lings from behind as well, helping out suck up some of that damage output. And Jaedong is holding. Uh-oh, Light in a little bit of trouble now. He is not getting the value he needs with this build. Jaedong even has lurkers down here in the bottom left, so there's no consolation prize for Light to swing around down to knock out this third base either. All of his eggs are in one basket right now, and if he counted his chickens before they hatch, he's gonna quickly find out the hard way that this might not be enough to break Jaedong. Looks like he's thinking about going in yet again, trying to skirmish a little bit here, see if he can put some DPS onto this third sunken. That's coming up, but it doesn't look breakable. He is starting to rotate down now to the southern hemisphere of the map to put on pressure to that third base. I think there's 3 lurkers down there though. It's going to be such a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, 3 lurkers should be enough to hold back any amount of Marines at this point in the game. Even catching some bio popping out here. This is fantastic for Jaedong, and he's now free to do whatever he wants with the mutas to potentially, start to damage the economy of Light as well. Niduskin out on the way. Triple lurker here. Is there a possibility Light can just stim and go? It's going to be hard with that mineral patch as well. Oh my gosh, it looks like 2 lurkers in the stack, but it's actually 3. It's just kind of deceptive and could actually cost Light the game if he tries to run up that ramp.
Yeah, he's got the +1 armor as well as weapons, so you can absorb 2 shots from the lurkers without dying. So if it looks like 2, you might be feeling like, okay, I can do this, and then suddenly you realize it's 3 and it absolutely eviscerates you. Jaedong has a mutiling force to mop up any rally point coming out to conjoin forces with this main threat out on the map from Light. But because of how late the factory was, he's going to have hardly any vessels to deal with this late game setup from Jaedong. It's going to be such a tough game for Light going forward, man. This is looking more and more like it could be another Jaedong victory. He's kind of reliant on Jaedong making a few mistakes to navigate this to a win. It's just that much of a tall order when you go for 5 racks and you don't really accomplish much. The Zerg kind of has to make mistakes for you to come back.
Yeah, I don't see any mistakes being made from Jaedong thus far, but he does need to get some overlords to the edges of his base, get Scourge set up. Can't allow Light to get in with a couple of drop ships and start to create havoc on the Zerg side of the map. We're very close now to Jaedong, getting ready to take his 4th base, so getting set up back at home is the most important thing right now. Don't really need to attack the Terran at this point. Just make sure that you get this 4th gas online without taking too much damage.
Yeah, Light going to be going for his 3rd base here. And it is a gas expansion, not a mineral only on Polestar, which is going to help out a lot. But if you let Jaedong get up to 4 gas ultras, you need 4 bases. You can see Light is eyeing up this 3 o'clock already. He knows how important it is to double expand in this situation. Jaedong is navigating this game so well. He knows it's inevitable the Ultralisks will become a factor and that a 4 gas Zerg is just around the corner. You kind of need to get ahead of the curve while you still can. Get that 4th base online as soon as possible and just pray that there's some way you can navigate the late game against the Zerg. It's going to be so tough for him though. Like, look at the supplies, they're actually pretty much even. Very indicative of just how well Jaedong is playing in this game and how little damage this initial aggression has accomplished for Light.
Ooh, trading a vessel for 1 Defiler there is a little bit rough. Gonna switch into some battle cruiser play here as Light double expands. Extra starports are coming online. His macro is incredible, one of the best in the entire world, so he's definitely gonna keep his money low and keep cranking out units. But this position historically has been very, very tough for Terran. Opening 5 wrecks, not really getting the damage. It's a tale as old as time. The Terran player is going to be playing from a deficit, and we'll be looking for some miracle drop, whether that's drop play or battle cruiser or maybe a bust where Jaedong just isn't quite paying attention, misses the timing with a defiler or doesn't make one at the right moment. Something's going to have to go right here for Light before he can start to turn this game around.
Yeah, he does shut down the little counterattack stab of the Zerglings here from Jaedong. He's making his way to this bottom left 4th base expansion. 3 lurkers underneath some Cheeto dust, though. It's going to be really tough to break that unless you've got a lot of irradiates to chew through those lurkers and defilers. And because of the 5 racks opening, doesn't have a lot of vessels or a lot of energy to utilize, so it's a bit of a slow siege that he's able to apply to Jaedong. Another backstab with these Zerglings, causing a little bit of mayhem behind enemy lines here. Gonna be super annoying. Here comes a defense matrix Firebat to kind of draw the fire of the lurkers. Maybe thinking about if he can do something here, but not really going to be accomplishing much with this Firebat play. Battle cruisers are out now. They can be very efficient. If they haven't got flyer carapace, you're one-shotting Scourge. You're forcing them to waste lava and gas on making those Scourge units to clear up the battle cruisers. If you can get a plague on them, that's great though. Let's see if Light can put on enough pressure with these air units. But he's losing so many vessels left and right. I'm getting a bit worried for him.
Yeah, he's having a hard time, man. This army in front of Jaedong's base was wiped out earlier, and so Jaedong's been able to cycle Lings out of his natural and that bottom left to circle around the map and do these little counterattacks that are slowing down Light even as he transitions into this mass battle cruiser, marine medic, and vessel play. Looks like even catching this other medic. Oh, almost got that one as well. Vessels are being traded for just single irradiates into these positions from Jaedong. It's a bit of desperation from Light, who just needs to make something happen at this point. He's going to go for another one. Can't quite get it. But battle cruisers are here as well. Battle cruisers making their way forward. They got that one-shot capability at the moment. Can he actually get a plague on this stuff? Drops a Dark Storm there. Doesn't have enough for plague, it seems. So cannot get a plague initially onto these battle cruisers, but has a spore and a bunch of mutas and Scourge. He's actually going to wipe these out pretty cost efficiently. Jaedong taking a very good trade here against the first couple of battle cruisers.
These have not been successful enough at all, saying hardly forcing any Scourge out from Jaedong, and he's got no more vessel energy really to utilize. Maybe like a few more irradiates and that's it. And unfortunately for Light, he is in a big trouble. There's 4-1 upgrades on these ultras, just 2-1 for the Marines. Will be a little bit longer until that +3 weapons finishes up with how late the factory was. You can see just how efficient Jaedong is cleaning up these cattle bruisers as well. Little bit problematic here for Light. Look at the supplies. Jaedong is approaching max. This is insane. And Light is trailing him by a good 30 supply. I don't know how this game is gonna have any chance of being a win for Light at this rate. Like I said before, kind of needs Jaedong to make some major blunders. Big round of Firebats coming out for Light so we can fight under the Dark Storm, but Firebats don't do it very good against Ultras, Sam.
Yeah, these Ultras are going to start trading insanely well, and Jaedong's been very conservative with them as well so far, so you know that he's going to be coming out soon with an insane number. Like, expect 12 Ultras to suddenly appear on the screen, guys, because he's just been holding them back, making sure that he doesn't take any unnecessary losses. He's got a bunch of Scourge coming down here to clear out the vessels as he engages with the final army here of Ultras getting in on top of everything. There's the split. All the vessels should be going down here. Huge kills on everything. Indeed, every vessel falls over the army of Light, and Jaedong is clearing out the forces, starting to get aggressive here, sending his army rallying across to go for the finisher.
Yeah, it was still pretty good trades for Light. He did clear out most of those Ultras, but look at the macro of Jaedong. He's still close to maxed. He's got so much army in reserve in his main base. He's already kind of cut the head off the snake and is about to go for a massive round 2 fight in just a few moments here, streaming across the map with more Ultra Ling, with Defiler support. it's gonna get all kinds of crazy up in here. Look at how many Lings are being produced as well behind these Ultras. +2 melee upgrades. The Kaiser Blades of the Ultras slicing through just about everything. And so many Lings in support. Firebats will help out against the Lings, but not much against the Ultras. Here come the Scourge, killing every vessel again, Saiyan.
Such a diligent play from Jaedong to continue to make Scourge in order to finish this guy off. Like, these two previous games have really shown how careful Jaedong can be when he's making sure that he secures his win. He's had advantages in both these last two games, but he's not tried to press them, try to get the quick win or end the game with any sense of urgency. He's just slowly closing in, cutting off every single opportunity that could potentially lose him the game, and making sure that Light has no avenue for a comeback. And this is yet another clean closer here as he closes in on this base at center right. Gonna go ahead and burrow these lurkers up here on high ground as well, it looks like. Okay, lurkers is kind of tripping out here. Finally gonna burrow, and Light has taken his hands off the keys. That's it. GG. Jaedong ties up the series.
Wow. Chef's kiss from Jaedong. He is back from the dead. Was on match point from being eliminated from the quarterfinals of ASL Season 21. 2 games to nothing. He is now all tied up 2-2. Absolute masterful control. Fingers pinching the base of his knife for finer blade control as he slices through all of the vessels in the sky, shuts down the 5 racks timing aggression from Light. Masterful defense, navigating hardly any Scourge required to kill the first 3 battle cruisers, and then having plenty of Scourge to wipe out all of the vessels in any follow-up engagement while the Ultralists tank the Marine fire, leaving nothing to chance, ensuring a very tentative win here over Light. Just never giving any rope for Light to try and hang him with.
Quick commercial break, guys. We'll be right back for that final set. we are back for set number 5. It's going to be on Octagon between Jaedong and Light, and this is what it's all about, baby. We're here in the round of 8 for the final match. Finally, a series that has gone all the way here, and it is hotly contested. Light managed to get 2 wins off of some fantastic Wraith play. But Jaedong's been bringing it back with really solid defensive strategies and just shutting down absolutely everything that Light is trying. It's time, guys. We're ready to get into this last match.
It's going to be a tough one. Octagon, very hard to secure additional gas expansions on. Let's see what these players are going to go for. Who knows? Could be some craziness. BBS 4-pull. Who knows what's going to be coming out from these two gamers, guys. The ASL Season 21 Round of 8 Match 3 Game 5 decider between none other than the tyrant Jaedong himself and Daddy Terran Light. And the map, it's Octagon. Let's get it, guys.
Over here in the top left-hand corner, Jaedong. His lips fall silent here as he is locked in fully. Light in the bottom right. Momentum is on the side of Jaedong here as he's turned this series around from the brink. I couldn't be more excited, Xun. I am just buzzing here in this last game. But guys, just a final reminder here to support these streams, to support our live cast of the ASL. We absolutely adore the fact that we're able to do this, and we love all of you guys and your support. So come check it out. Saiyan Xun Duocast over on Patreon. And if you can't afford to support, we totally understand, but definitely follow the page anyway for updates about other casts that we're going to be doing. And of course, we update you guys every time we go live.
Yeah, big shout out to all you guys that do support us in our endeavors. We absolutely love to bring you coverage of StarCraft. We've been a part of the scene for a long time. Absolute honor and a privilege to be here alongside Saiyan, bringing you these absolutely fantastic games. Wouldn't have had it any other way. Gonna be a hatchery first here from Jaedong. Oh, and it's another gas opening from Light. Saiyan. Jaedong did shut down the Wraith play on Sylphid, but games 1 and 2 look pretty damn good for Light with that.
What a contrast from last season and so many of the previous seasons of ASL, man. I'm so excited that we're still seeing such big switch-ups in the meta that now it's just, I guess, the best way to play this season to go for gas builds. And how hilarious is it that in that season, Leda is actually performing insanely well. I guess, you know, it all kind of lines up, doesn't it?
Right.
It all makes sense in the end. Leda dominating this season, doing so well, making his way into the round of 4. Basically has always been the best player at Wraith builds, but Light is a very close contender with some extremely strong Wraith play and good, not just good Wraith control, but excellent decision making with the Wraiths as well.
Yeah, has to be said. He's probably second best in the world at utilizing those Wraiths behind Leda. Jaedong comes in with the drone scout, sees there's no intention to plop down that CC. It should be about started around about, 250 to 3 minutes. There should be a CC starting in the natural expansion. So the fact that he sees that there's not can start to sniff this out and put the puzzle pieces together that this was actually a factory opening into the CC. He doesn't know for sure though. This could theoretically be 2-port Wraith again from Light. Has to respect that possibility. We'll have to throw down the creep colony at about 3 minutes 30 to deal with the vulture timing. You can delay that a little bit with the cross map though.
Yeah, this is a bit more of a macro-centric 1-1-1 from Light. We haven't seen a Vulture like speed run by from him yet, and that's been really popular lately. So maybe we'll get a mix up in that regard. Maybe a drop potentially. That's another great way to open. The reason why I say the speed, the run by here, yeah, there's the upgrade. He is going to be getting an upgrade here. So the reason being that you can't really block all the way on this map. Like there's a bit of a gap on the right hand side of whatever you build on this map. You just like look here. If you don't pull the drones fast enough to block that gap, you could go all the way around the back of the mineral patches and get into a really good position here. So we'll see if Light's willing to try that.
And this is a Valkyrie build here from Light saying, so it's going to be mixing it up a little bit in the final decider game. Love to see it. He did do mines instead of speed on match point. That was definitely unorthodox though. It's far more common to go for those ion thrusters and go for the speed run by. Let's see if it's going to be that run by this time around. Control tower to start producing those Valkyries imminently. A bit of a delayed engineering bay, but that's kind of usual with a Valkyrie build. It's a very tight timing. Your turrets are like just finishing up as the mutas are on their way into your base. But as long as you don't lose the first Valkyrie to Scourge, you're sitting pretty. Good Lings in position to deny the Vulture run by here. Jaedong taking this potential very seriously and is not going to give any wiggle room for Light.
Yeah, not going to allow Light to slip by there at all. A really nice setup here from Jaedong. We'll be getting into a good macro position with that extra hatchery having been thrown down so early. The Vulture speed really not going to make much of a difference here. Are we going to see a drop pop out? You can go for a drop ship and then into Valkyrie, but it is a little risky.
Yeah.
Going to escort this drone over towards the third now. Make sure that that gets down. I'm being very careful here to not have this be delayed, and he will be rewarded for that. Gets the third on the way here. Just a single Valkyrie there in the back corner. Do we have any Scourge? Not quite yet. Jaedong hasn't had an opportunity to fully scout Light just as of yet to see exactly what's coming, so he is not prepared to try and dive. We'll be taking that first volley from the Valkyrie. Second volley comes down. He kills one SCV and trades for a couple volleys. Not the best here for Jaedong to start.
Yeah, he does throw down the third hatchery undeterred by the Vultures, though. That's a big deal. Usually these Vultures should be active on the map, shutting down a drone from taking a relatively quick third base, but hasn't been able to do that this time around. So still going pretty good for Jaedong. The fact that he was able to get that third base set up pretty promptly. Does go after one of these drones coming out now, but Mutalisk's there to escort it to safety. It looks like Light's going to wrap around with the other Vulture to the 12 o'clock. I think the Scourge just spotted that now, so he's going to clean that up. Has got a couple of pairs of those Scourge to try and snipe some of these Valkyries. If you kill like the first one or two Valkyries, it's like gold dust for the Zerg, and the Terran's going to be in a world of hurt. But Light's already got 3. He's sitting back comfortably for the time being. It's going to be trickier for Jaedong to try and snipe those as the game progresses and he gets his bio transition fully set up.
So what we're going to be watching for here is the number of Valkyries that Light can pop out before Jaedong manages to... Oh my god! Mine dragged right into the natural there. Oh man. Oh, that was wild. Almost got massive damage in that mineral line. Only killed a couple of SCVs, but that could have been even worse had the mine connected a little bit better. What a way to lose a best of 5 series here at the 11th hour. One mine just kills, 10 SCVs. Would be ridiculous.
That would be absolutely insane. Oh, Jaedong flying in, tries to get the Scourge connection, does find one of those Valkyries. Not bad at all to kick things off. Vulture hitting the 12 o'clock. Not going to really find anything up here, though. Hydra's in position to ward that away. This is a pretty even game between both sides. Like, neither player is particularly ahead of one another to start things off.
That's pretty rough losing that first Valkyrie. I talk about it a lot, but it tends to be kind of a numbers game when it comes to Valkyries. You want to wait until you got a critical mass, and when you lose one or two like this, like all you need to do is run away from the Scourge and Mutas there, rather than trying to do that fancy flick shot micro, and just allow the Mutas to chase over the lurkers, and he would end up having three or he would have 4 Valkyries by now, but at the moment he's sitting at 2 and can't really blast the Mutas out of the sky. Once you've got about 4, maybe 5 Valkyries, you can just target the Mutas and all the Scourge under the Mutalist stack die before they can even get to you. So it is really a critical mass thing, and Light just isn't going to get there, and lurkers are being made. Jaedong is for sure going to be defended back at home when this push ends up coming out. He does not have his hive done yet, and 3 tanks are starting to move. Is there a possibility that Light can bust him before hive is done and everything's set up?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I really love the usage of borrowed Zerglings from Jaedong to keep tabs on Light up until this point. He's going to start clearing those out now with the Science Vessel, but it has been able to tip off Jaedong up until this point. Here comes that fantasy style push. Lots of tanks in support of this Bioforce, as well as a vessel. This could be very scary. Only a couple of Valkyries, though. It's not the end of the world here for Jaedong. This is going to be tough to break through this ridgeline quickly. Lurkers are going to buy a lot of time for Cheng. Oh, bit of a misstep from Light. Loses a tank for free. Uh-oh, San.
Oh, yeah, that's painful, man. That is really painful. Light just going to have to back up a little bit. So it starts to push forward as the lurkers retreat. Ooh, Mutas all die. You really do want to keep some of those Mutas alive to kind of cover for the Scourge as they fly in, try to get some of these vessel kills. But he's coming in for a flank. Dude, this could be an absolutely enormous flank here from Jaedong. He's got a ton of lurkers on the top side, and he's got a bunch of lurkers coming here from the south. He's going to pull the trigger all at once, try to get around this army. Can he actually catch this entire force and wipe it out? He's at least going to get the majority of these Marines that are coming up here to support, but Light cleans up the Lings and the majority of the lurkers, so he's gonna have to try to dive forward here. Dives right on top of these tanks. Kind of a late siege up there. Great shots from the lurkers. Huge spines on so much of this army, and now everything gonna be pushed back here. It seems like this tank push has stopped dead in its tracks.
Yeah, it does look like there's a little bit of gas left in the engine here for Light. Not many lurkers remaining. If he can keep reinforcing this front line, he has a hope, but Jaedong's got 2 lurkers on this ridgeline to shut down that reinforcements. Light got a little bit lucky with his Vulture getting a tip-off with that initial flank coming in and was able to respond quite well to it. But Jaedong, here comes the 2 lurkers from behind to wrap around just before the reinforcements kick in. He's not quite able to clean up this tank, though. Uh-oh, Jaedong in a little bit of trouble now, saying Light is approaching this 12 o'clock, and there's not enough units left here for Jaedong. He's trying to make some desperate lurkers, but they're a little late. He's going to have to evacuate this expansion. This looks deadly from Light.
Oh my goodness, this looked like such a close hold. It seemed like Jaedong was going to be able to keep this base alive, but maybe overestimated a little bit what he could do with those Hydras at the end of that fight there. Oh, he misses the opportunity to kill a fresh vessel as it's running forward as well. Jaedong is falling apart here, losing Hydras that he can't afford. While the Defiler finally pops out, man, there must have been a problem with the Defiler there. Maybe the Defiler mount didn't make or something, because it feels so late at this point. I mean, he was holding on for so long with just pure Lurker Ling, and the Defiler should have been able to come out within that time period, but it's now out and too late to save the third gas. Jaedong going to desperately try to take center left. This is going to be an incredible comeback if he manages to hold on.
Light has just been so stoic this entire series. Kind of looks like that statue emoji every time we get a close-up on his player cam. Jaedong not able to snipe these vessels. He's trying to double expand, trying to hang on here with the defilers, throwing down a couple of Cheeto dust clouds. It's looking pretty bleak though for Jaedong. He's dried up so much in terms of what units he's got available to him. A couple of firebats are going to be getting underneath these dark swarms as well. Just one single tank remaining for Light, but it doesn't matter. He can just run his marines through the clouds, kill this hatchery, rotate to the 9 o'clock if he wants to, and shut down Jaedong for good. The Tyrant is so close to being slain, Sam.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire here. There's almost nothing left for Jaedong. He's going to lose that last couple of forces over at this 4th base. Light's got his hands off the keys. He knows he's done it. GG is called. Jaedong taps out, and Light will advance to the round of 4. Oh my goodness. That was incredibly close, Xun.
Wow.
Oh man, Light. Huge smile on his face there as he takes the victory, breaking out of that stone expression that he had throughout this series to show a bit of emotion here at the end part of this series.
He's definitely looking elated after that result. A little bit of emotions coming through there for him as he just lets it all hang loose now that the games are over. Jaedong looking a little bit disgruntled and disappointed. Came so close to getting the comeback. At least he didn't go down without a fight. Came so close to clutching this out, and honestly, maybe you could pin this all on the fact that the Vulture saw the flank coming in and allowed Light to rotate down to shove back this army. Jaedong killed a few Marines with the Lynx, but traded them all out. Couldn't set up a flank as a result, and made the win condition for Light simplified by trading off pieces off the board like that. And yeah, it was a nice effort from Jaedong to still try and shove it down on these tanks, but you can just see the trade is not going his way overall. Unfortunately, he came so close to clutching out this series, but Light's timing attacks are just absolutely godlike.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from him, man. This was an incredible push, well conceived and well executed as well. Jaedong, I mean, he just barely didn't have enough units, man. I'm really curious about what was going on with the Defiler timing there. It seemed like he had the Hive finishing up in at a pretty good moment, but oh my gosh, these Hive just coming in and just dying for free is insane. Like, that was the miscalculation, I think, that really cost him this game, was to dive there on top of the tanks rather than biding a little bit more time to get that Defiler out and try to save the day. Light now going to give his thoughts here on the game. Xun. It's a hard pill to swallow here for Jaedong fans, but still excited to see what Light can do. Whether it's going to be Snow or Flash he's facing off against in the round of 4.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough pill to swallow for me as well, San. Really did want to see Jaedong through to the semifinals, hopefully facing off against Flash, but we're not going to get it. It's a bit of a Terran Central ASL tournament we've had. The maps are more Terran favored than they've ever been. It is what it is. Jaedong still put out some fantastic games today. I'm so happy he didn't just go out 3-0 or 3-1 and have a bit of a disappointing finish, getting a bit of a shot now of Light being a family man with his kid on stage. I'm sure the kid doesn't even know what's going on right now, so doesn't know to be proud of his dad. But yeah, he's going to be feeling on top of the world. He's got it all. He's got a lovely family. He's still putting out great games of StarCraft. He's been around for such a long time. This guy was getting a few all kills back in the Pro League days, Kesper era. And he's still Daddy Terran, putting out some of the best Terran games that we've seen. And who knows, man, like, Light's pretty damn good in TVT. Hypothetically, if Flash does beat Snow, it is possible Light could have a really seriously good series against Flash. My money would still be on Flash, but Light's not going to be a pushover.
No, Light's definitely not going to be a pushover, man. This season is just so hotly contested, man. It's so hard to tell who's gonna end up making it through when you've got Flash on the other side of the or in the other matchup here on this side of the bracket. Snow as well is looking for his vengeance, guys. Tomorrow, definitely tune in for the live cast. Come join us in the chat and hang out while we find out if Snow can get his vengeance on Flash or if Flash will continue to dominate, if he's going to be able to take home another season of ASL. I think Snow might be one of his biggest contenders. You know, that would actually be such an insane run. You know what? If Flash beats Snow and then Light and then Soma back to back to back, can you imagine what a statement that is? The three greatest uh of each race, right? The strongest players of each race. Same thing for Light though. Light beats Jaedong, and then he beats Flash, and then he beats. I guess he wouldn't be able to beat Protoss in that case. He's not quite gonna have the same run, but I'm excited to see it. Whether Flash can take it home again.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely destroyed Snow not too long ago. But, you know, Snow's no slouch. He's so good with Reaver control, and he's also improved a lot in recent times. His optimizations and SimCity and macro, a little bit sharper than they used to be. But I do feel like Flash is quite literally the ultimate weapon for Snow to handle. Like, defensively, Flash is so good, and that's what you need against someone like Snow's style. I do have a strong inclination that Flash is going to get the better end of him. But, you know, Flash, you know, he does have a wrist injury. He's still putting out a lot of games, but maybe not quite playing as good as he was back in the day. Overall, though, Flash's form is still pretty peak. I would be putting money on Flash if I was a gambling man. But I don't think it's going to be as much of a one-sided affair as we've seen in the past.
I'm glad I'm not a gambling mention. I would have put a lot of money on Jaedong going through today. That would have been sad. That would have been a sad day for me for sure. But hey, it is what it is. Light played a heck of a series, man. Played a lot different than I would have expected from him, going for so much Wraith play,
Right.
and you know, sticking to 1-1-1 and these type of styles. Like pretty impressive from him to win in this fashion today.
Yeah. I'm just happy with the games. Like, both players, I think, played fantastically well. And it really did come down to the wire at the end there. Like, just the fact the Vulture saw the flank really tipped the scales in Light's favor going forward. Like, had he not seen that flank, we could have been seeing a very different game playing out. But it is what it is. Such is the nature of StarCraft. One tiny little advantage can be all that is required to snowball it into a victory. Both players played phenomenally well today. And regardless of if you're a Terran fan, a Jaedong fan, or a Light fan, or a Zerg fan, I think you can be happy with the result here today. This was a fantastic series.
Yeah, I think everyone going to be rating this series over the first couple we had in round of 8. That's for sure. Taking it all the way to the 5th game is exactly what we want to see.
Yeah.
And I hope we're going to get a similar result tomorrow, guys. Join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time, for Snow versus Flash. Will be a heck of a match, a grudge match between those two. Snow, who lost 4-0 versus Flash just a few years back. It was right before Flash went to the his military services, like his last win in ASL before taking off, and he absolutely stomped all over Snow. But Snow has become just such a monster. Like, he's improved so much. In the years when Flash has been away. He's made so many finals. He's had a hard time versus Zerg, but his Protoss versus Terran has looked undeniably strong. It's been like kind of unbelievable that he hasn't been able to take an ASL season for himself. But we'll see if this is any different. We'll see if Flash can put another game or another series down like he did previously, or if Snow, his development has changed the math on that at all yet.
Yeah, I could see Snow getting through to the finals, but I imagine he's going to be praying that later does one of the biggest upsets ever and beats out Soma, because then he's only got 3 Terrans in his way, right? Like Flash, then Light, and then finally later in the finals. Snow would be so happy if that does come to pass, but I don't know, man. I don't know if later can beat Soma in a best of 7, maybe a best of 3 or a best of 5. Best of 7 seems crazy to me. But, you know, later has been upsetting a lot of expectations in this tournament already. Certainly as possible, we could be seeing something like a later versus Flash finals or a later versus Snow finals. It's definitely in the cards.
Yeah, that'll be incredible if he's able to pull that off. Guys, we're done here for today. Hope you've enjoyed this best of 5. Jaedong versus Light was epic. Join us tomorrow for Snow versus Flash. We'll see you there.
Thanks, guys.